Hey there, so I'm live and I'm early. When I said that this week I probably wouldn't be going live, and I probably would be down here in the movie library, but I am, and that's because basically came back a day early because my better half she has to work the weekend, so we had to come back a day early. So we got in as much as we could yesterday, and I got a bunch of got a few movies here, and they are all from except for one, they're all from big genre label companies. Most of them are limited edition. They're all collector's edition. They're all ones that check off a box on my list of movies that I really wanted to get, and I'm probably going to be diving into these a little deeply because I really don't have a topic for this week because I didn't plan to make a video, and this is earlier than I usually make it. But we got home and my better half is resting up. She's tired. So I thought I'd take the time now to come down and make a video here in the movie library where hopefully a lot of my movie club usually coming later. But you never know. Anyway, had one person come in and just leave. How rude. Just really quickly. But I'm going to leave the really big ones right there for last. First, I'll show you. I'm going to unbox them. Literally, I'm going to pretty much take all the wrapping off them, and we'll look at them here together. So she's a huge fan of the Lucky Luke and stuff like that. So we picked up this here, and it's in French because her native, one of her native tongues, because she speaks 3 or 4 languages is French. And this is a good way for me to learn French as well as to. Don't worry, there's some cool limited editions coming up, guys. So this is the Lucky Luke. It's on Blu-ray, and we've only ever seen these here in DVD format. So it'd be interesting to see a Blu-ray edition, see what kind of an upgrade it is. But here's the crux of it. So first off, I'll show you the last thing I picked up. Now, if you're on my Instagram and my Twitter, then more than likely you've seen the stuff that I'm going to show, but I haven't even opened them up yet, so we're going to look at that together. So first off, here's one that I've been wanting for a long time, and I couldn't buy it last year for a specific reason, actually. Not because I couldn't afford it last year, but because, to be totally honest with you, because I lived in a different area last year. When you watch my videos now, if you watch my videos when I was in the previous movie library, it was a big library, but it was out in the countryside, which made it really it creeped me out a bit. And I could not have bought The Strangers. Actually, couldn't have bought it last year because it did the home invasion. Literally, I lived in the countryside, kind of like you see this here. This would have bothered me then. I was way more bothered out there with the in the creepiness than I ever let on. To be totally honest with you. You guys are so quiet tonight. But Strangers is a fantastic film. I did see the sequel in theater, and I don't own it yet, but I did like it because it's very much the second one's an '80s throwback, and this one here is is pretty much for me it's one of the pinnacles of the home invasion genre, up there with Ills, which is that them, but it's and of course the highly underrated Inside. So there's a ton of features on here, so let's look at those. So we've got a theatrical version of the film, new HD master theatrical cut taken from a 2K digital intermediate. The Element of Terror interviews with the cast and crew that was on a previous one. Deleted scenes, TV spots, theatrical trailer. Now the new stuff is on the new unrated cut of the film. Now the unrated version again comes from a 2K digital intermediate with HD inserts as well. There's new interviews with the writer and director Brian Bertino, an actress Kip Weeks who plays this character right here, and Laura Margolis who plays oh God, what's her character's name again? I can't remember the characters' names right now. And there's a stills gallery as well. And more than likely there's probably a little bit more. So this is the slip cover. Now let's look at the. Is this like a 2-disc one? Yeah, it is. So this one is a 2-disc one, and I'm going to just flick around the cover because I always do that for my, oh, this is nice, for my Scream Factories. when you have got like a, hey Isaac, and thank you so much. Tonight is, you came in for a good night, because basically I picked up 3 really good limited edition, in my opinion, good like collector's editions from 3 different companies. One here from Scream, one from Arrow Video, and one from Severin Films. And 3 that I think are kind of musts for like horror fans. And I really do like this other cover for The Strangers. So this is the alternate artwork. I haven't seen this artwork on any like other, like, is this a European artwork maybe? Because this isn't like the North American artwork for Strangers. It's way better, and it's I'd be guessing this is probably either a one-shot poster that came out, or like a European artwork. Now, just if you guys notice, I kind of cut up my hand. I had a bit of a tumble, yeah, on on Friday, and I sprained this hand like pretty bad. And this one here, I just I cut it up, and rather than you guys see the horror of that, I, you know, Band-Aids. But I'm actually really excited to check this out. I want to watch the movie again. I don't know the differences really between the theatrical cut and the unrated cut. I've seen one cut of this film, and I do not know, honestly, which one I saw. I had this on DVD back in the day, but I don't have a copy of it now. So finally, glad to have this one again. Now, next up is one from Severin Films, and it's one that I've been wanting for a long time. It was a famous ghost story. And when I say ghost story in Severin Films, you probably already know what it is, and probably most of you got this one. It's a big one for me. When I was a kid, it would show at Halloween all the time. Every year around Halloween time, this movie would show. Would freak me out. Starred George C. Scott. It won a lot of like Genie Awards, which is like Genies, right? Here in Canada, I think it's called Genies. You know, and actually got nominated for an Oscar. So we got, I think, got nominated for an Oscar. So The Changeling, or The Actor, when The Actor was Oscar nominated. The Changeling's a really good film. Basically, George C. Scott plays this recent widower who buys this old house, kind of big old house, out into the countryside, and decides that he's going to, he's going to go live out there. Now, I don't want to give anything away, but obviously, it is cool. Actually, I got picked up, haven't checked out yet. So with this one here, I love it's like, remember back in the day, if you guys are old enough, there was like this chrome covers would come on like comic books all the time. Back in, the big comic boom before the whole bust. But that's kind of what that reminded me of. And I had to pick it up because this has the, well, I'll show you guys what it has anyway. I'm actually really excited about this one. Oh, and also, if you didn't notice, I also picked this up. So I'm picking up some horror shirts for Halloween. I grabbed this Pet Sematary one. I've also got another horror shirt, which I will debut on another episode here of my channel. But let's open this up and see what's inside it. So for whoever has it and just hasn't opened up yet, we'll check inside and I'll save you some time. Now, what I like about the Severin releases recently is that they've been going away from the blue cases, and they're going to do they're going for black for their for their limited editions, for their special editions. And I think this one is going to follow suit from what I see right here. I like that. I like that they're going with different colors. We're so used to the blue right now that it's nice to see a black or a clear, that type of thing. When they did it with the Halloween set for Scream Factory, I was really stoked by that. So this is the inside cover. So kind of a slightly, like, this is a more kind of like a, I guess, slight kind of chrome, more detailed. There's a bunch of features on here, which I'll talk about in a minute. One there that particular that stands out to me that I really want to check out. So this is a limited edition. There's only 5,000 of these made. It is region free. But I don't think Severin put on here like a numbered it to let you know like what number you had. I don't see anywhere where there's like a number. If anybody has this and they know where there's like a number or any type of thing to like let you know if you've got number like 1,003 out of 5,000. There's 5,000 of these. Then let me know, because I don't see it on there anywhere. Maybe they just didn't do that. So yeah, so perfect. So inside here, this one here is the Blu-ray, and this here disc, this is the CD soundtrack. So if you like Halloween's coming up and you want to listen to some creepy music, then pick up the Changeling, a limited edition. Not only you get all these cool features, but you get like the CD soundtrack as well, which is great for Halloween time. And what features we have on here? Well, we got the audio commentary with the director and producer of the film, moderated by Severin Films' David Gregory, which actually should be pretty interesting. I hear it's pretty good. The house on Chesman Park. This is what really made me want it, aside from wanting this film for ages. The haunting true story of the Changeling, which is actually supposed to be really good. The music of the Changeling, interview with the music arranger Kenneth Wanberg. Building the House of Horror, interview with art director Ruben Fried. Because if I correct, the house, like the outside of the house and the Changeling, it doesn't exist. It was like kind of a facade, like put up in the like in front of another house to make this. So the house that you've seen in the Changeling, it's not a real house. There's you actually can't go to the house. I could be totally wrong, but if I remember correctly, I think that it was just kind of like put up in front of another house to give this ominous look, but it really wasn't a house. It wasn't a house. The new one here called the Psychotronic Tourist, where they actually go on the kind of like the sets and go around where the Changeling was made, and different actors do for that. Master Horror Mick Garris on the Changeling. We got a poster and stills gallery, radio spots and TV spots, and a trailer. So actually not a bad package at all put together. This is a movie I've been wanting to own for a very long time. The last time I saw this movie was on VHS. I don't know if it ever had a DVD release. If it did, I didn't have it, or I don't. Do I have a DVD release of this one? I don't think I do. I'd have to look over in my horror section over there. But the Changeling Special Edition Blu-ray, it's really, really worth owning. So if you haven't picked it up yet, I do definitely recommend it. Now, the big meat of this one here is yesterday was Dario Argento's birthday. Yeah, so September 7th is Argento's birthday, and I usually like to watch some Argento films on his birthday. Now, I was in Halifax, and I was at my aunt's wedding. So basically, I got go see her, go see the ceremony. Afterwards, there was a reception, so I did a lot of dancing there, and busting some white boy moves. And then the next day, that night I went to Sunrise Records and picked up some stuff, and I grabbed this one here, Cat o' Nine Tails. It was kind of meant to happen, I guess, and it happened on his birthday too. So I picked up a Dario Argento collector's edition on his birthday, which is actually pretty cool when you think about it. And I'm a huge fan of Argento. I got to see the kids while I was there as well. Brought my youngest to work today. So here we got the Cat o' Nine Tails, and this is not actually my favorite Argento film. Definitely, it's probably my least favorite of the Animal trilogy. But I do find that maybe it's because it's not my favorite film that each time I watch it, I find something that I like about it just a little bit more. And this is supposed to be like a great transfer for the film. It's some great new features. So there's some cards we're gonna look at in here. It's a booklet and everything. So we'll look at it. We'll check it all out. And if you look really close, you can see. I'll bring it up there so you'll see it. See in the cat. There's a girl tied. Now when I was getting this put through to the counter, he was looking at it and looking at it for a while, and it's like, wait a minute. He said, "There's a girl in the cat there. I didn't notice the girl in the cat." But I'll show you guys what it looks like. So first off, we'll look at the on the Blu-ray. It's a Blu-ray DVD combo, I guess. So here we go, and it is. So we'll look at it before I get into the really cool stuff. So this is it the DVD or the Blu-ray? What's that? So it's DVD, I think. So there's DVD, Blu-ray. Well, and I'll show you the alternate artwork. So right there. Hey Savannah, how's it going? I was actually talking to one of my friends the other day, but saying I needed to take a trip, and Australia was where she recommended. So who knows? One of these days I may actually get down there. So this one came with some neat things. So so first I'll show off just the card that comes with each one of them. You just woke up? Well, there, you woke up to my video, so awesomeness, right? Maybe 7:18 there. Yeah, I didn't plan on doing a video this early, but I had this stuff, and I'm gonna want to watch some stuff later on. So I actually didn't plan to make a video at all. I didn't plan to be here today, as you guys know. So the JD's Revenge is the card that came with it. But what's really, really cool, and I want to show you guys this came with some reproduction kind of art cards. So well cards, basically kind of like those those lobby cards that I guess lobby cards are kind of like before my time, but it would have been around my dad's time. Basically, they'd have like these big like cards like outside of like around theaters and stuff like that. So I never got to experience them myself, but my dad is like he would have. He's I'm not that old, so but here's some neat ones here. So there is this one. Oh, this one's more ominous. This one right here, just to let you know, they're just like black on the back of it. I might actually rewatch this one tonight after my better half goes to bed. I'm a really big fan of this film, and I would love to dive into the features. This one I could probably dive into the features without watching it again, but I would like to like get a fresh look at it. As you can see, when you look at the guy there on there's just like an eye to detail to art that that Argento has that like not a lot of filmmakers like have. I mean, like there's Bava would have it, like Fulci would have it, but like it was kind of an Italian thing, I think. Like to really, there's the last one right there. This movie, by the way, stars James Franciscus and Carl Malden. So if you have not seen it, I strongly recommend it. And the features, I guess I should dive into that a little bit too, since we're on here. Okay. So feature-wise on here, we got a brand new 4K restoration of the film from the original camera negative. There's a high def and standard def DVD presentations. We got original mono Italian audio and the English soundtracks lossless on the Blu-ray disc. Newly translated English subtitles for the Italian soundtrack, so we'll kind of get closer to what the script actually is. Optional English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, which is amazing. A new audio commentary by Alan Jones and Kim Newman. I'm definitely listening to that. New interviews with co-writer director Dario Argento, co-writer Dardano Ciacci, who's a fantastic writer actually. Actress Cinzia De Carlos, production manager Angelo Iacono. Script pages for the Lost original ending, translated in English for the very first time. Original Italian and international theatrical trailers, reversible sleeves featuring original and newly commissioned artwork by Candace Tripp. Original double-sided fold-out poster, which I'll show you guys in a minute. 4 lobby card reproductions, limited edition booklet with writings by illustrated by Matt Griffin with an essay on the film by Dario Argento and new writings by Barry Forshaw, Troy Haworth, and Howard Hughes. So some pretty cool stuff. And if anybody said anything while I was doing that, I really apologize because I had this up to my face so I could actually see it. So it's a hard box, which I do like. I wish they would have had a hard box when they did Deep Red. That President's one of the best films of the 90s. Oh, I haven't seen it. It's been a long time since I've seen The Presidents. I'm guessing the conversation has gone on here that I missed out on. So this is different from a lot of their posters. Do you manage to grab a copy of Giallo in Venice from Code Red? I didn't actually, unfortunately. You know me when it comes to Code Red, it's really hard to get their stuff, and I find it like super expensive. So usually, if you see me showing off like a Code Red here on my channel, it's because one of my viewers has generously got me a Code Red. DVDs I got on the sale once. I really don't have a lot of Code Red. So this is Cat o' Nine Tails here, and it's bigger than a lot of the earlier posters that that they put out. This is the new artwork. Now, what's really interesting about this? Do I have the Herschel Gordon Lewis box set? I do actually. I can actually bring it over in a second. I'll show you. I don't have the gigantic one like but I've got the one that looks like a cereal box. Bernard come here. Yeah, it is like that's the thing. Like Bill makes it hard on himself. He complains that a lot of people don't buy his stuff, but he makes it hard for us to get. Like I would love to have bought like more Code Red stuff, but I sadly, it's when he makes it hard to get, and then like when he puts out certain movies that I like, and says subtitles don't matter. Nobody really wants that on like on Giallos and all that stuff. It baffles me. And I'm not downing on the guy. It's just that I think that some questionable choices are made when it comes to like when you're running a company and you're going in for stuff like that. If you're doing like foreign films, you're doing Giallo and stuff like that. please at least try. You know, there's a lot of people. I go on a lot of there's sites, nefarious sites as you call them, where where fans would do subtitles for films that haven't been released. And, you know, there's lots of places to go fans to get fan subs and stuff like that. It wouldn't be that hard for like to put subtitles on some of the films. Watch The Wizard of Gore for the first time. Oh, is that your first Sugar and Lewis movie? It's pretty cool. Now, I do recommend, well, the classic, you know, Thousand Maniac. Fantastic one. This is the booklet for Cat o' Nine Tails. I don't want to give away too much when it comes to, but there's like Cat o' Nine Tails is a different type of giallo film in the fact that it's especially for Argento, it's not hard to figure out, to be honest with you, and there's no and the reasoning behind it is kind of, you saw Blood Feast on Joe Bob. Joe Bob's amazing. Actually, Joe Bob's coming back. He's doing 2 more shows. Then he's gonna have a regular show on Shutter. So Shutter like really nailed it with Joe Bob. They did an amazing job with that. I haven't gotten to see all the Joe Bob yet. I've seen a little bit of it, but I hear that especially ones like Basket Case were really good. And I know that he had something to do. Hey Ken, how's it going? We were just talking not too long ago actually. He had something to do with Basket Case actually like making it. So he was pretty emotional when it came to talking about Basket Case. So I haven't seen it yet, but I hear that it's yeah, it's he's got like he announced it on his Facebook page that there's going to be like more Joe Bob Briggs coming back and like 2 more specials nights. I think there's like maybe a Thanksgiving one and maybe a Christmas one, and then like there's a regular Joe Bob like programming. Let me just check here. I'll find out exactly what he said there, because I thought I was really it says like guess who's coming for the holidays. Okay, here we go. So Joe Bob returns as Shutter Canada with not 1 but 2 holiday specials. On November 22nd, Joe Bob will turn Black Friday into Red Thursday with The Dinners of Death, the best deadly dinner movies in history. Then on December 21st, tune in for a very Joe Bob Christmas. They are prepared because last time we broke show, I know. This should be. And as an extra gift, Shutter Canada has announced plans to launch a regular series featuring Joe Bob Briggs in 2019. Give us my Argento trilogy from best to worst. You mean, are you talking about the Animal trilogy? Like the original 3 films? Well, the Animal trilogy, I'll just say it, well, for people that don't know. It's Bird, Crystal Plumage, Four Flies and Grey Velvet, and this one here, The Cat o' Nine Tails. They were like the original 3 Argento films before he would become more stylistic as he went on. He was very stylistic in the beginning, but you would get a style, like a kind of a way that he would go. So the first 3 are really kind of really raw Argento, and I go back and forth. But I'll be honest with you, as I love all 3 of those films. This one was the one that I love least. But for you, it's Plumage, Flies, and Cat. I go back and forth, and I'll tell you why. I love Bird, Crystal Plumage a lot. I mean, that was an early film of mine that I saw. It was one that stood out for a long time. Four Flies was one that was hard to find. But there's certain things I love about Four Flies without giving anything away. I love certain actors in it, especially one female actress that has a very pivotal and important role in the film, and I thought she was fantastic. But Bird, mine is probably the same as yours actually, and I think if you ask a lot of people, it's going to be in that order. As in, I think Bird is the best of the 3. It's got the best twist. It's got the kind of the background characters like Bud Spencer, guys like that would be guys that you'd remember them. Really good opening for Bird, Crystal Plumage. Love that one. Four Flies is probably next. Again, it's a fantastic little film. Not perfect. I like the opening, but I don't love the opening in Four Flies as opposed. But that freaking mask, that whatever the hell that mask is, that's creepy as hell, and it gave me nightmares when I was a kid. And then there's Cat. Cat's one that originally I wasn't big on. I wasn't very keen on Cat o' Nine Tails, and it's one that I grow to like more with every subsequent rewatch. Now, it may go higher in the list down the road because honestly, Bird and Flies I like the same from when I originally saw them. They don't change. I still have the same feeling with Bird and the same feeling with Flies every time I watch it. But I find that maybe it's just where Cat was so different and it was so out of his comfort level that I can appreciate it more now than I could when I originally watched the film. Because there was like the scientific aspect of it, I wasn't quite sure on that. For Argento, I thought that was actually pretty cool, but I wanted more of like a reasoning behind the killings. And when I go back and I think about like some of the Argento stuff that came later, there's a lot of flashiness to like to the murders and stuff, but a lot of times there wasn't a whole lot of reasoning behind the killings. At least he tried to give kind of a scientific reasoning with this one. What about the scores? For you, it's the same order. I'll be honest with you. I'd have to listen again. When it comes to the scores, I like Tenebrae tops the score for me. That's just far and above like any Argento, and then it's tied with Deep Red next, and I guess and following with that's is Suspiria, which are three fantastic scores, and I think three of the great like horror movie scores of all time, way up there with Argento. I'm sort of new to the channel. Who's my favorite directors? Well, this guy here, Argento, was one of the first directors that I got into. He's the guy that kind of made me like understand like directors were a thing. I used to live in a small area, and we had like a small theater. And because of that, we didn't get all the big budget movies come in, but we would get like some second run stuff and some older stuff. So I was lucky enough to get to see most of the Argento films and a lot of the early Jackie Chan stuff before it became famous in the theater, because that's the stuff that they ran there. I remember going to see Deep Red, Profondo Rosso, in the theater, and actually getting the poster of it at the time. But obviously Bob Clark is up there for me because my favorite film of all time, you're new to the channel, Isaac, so my favorite film of all time is Black Christmas, the 1974 film. It actually made me want to know how to make films. I kept watching it over and over again, and I noticed camera work, I noticed marks, I noticed sound, I noticed score. Black Christmas really made me notice all those things for the first time. So Black Christmas, so Bob Clark's definitely up there. And Murder by the Decree is a movie that I used to see a lot when I was a kid. So he definitely had like a large influence on me. Also, Alfred Hitchcock, of course, The Master. Lucio Fulci is was somebody huge for me. Yeah, you love Black Christmas, so you're awesome if you love Black Christmas. For me, Plumage is the first giallo I ever saw on VHS. Really? That's a good one because it's literally Argento's first. So you went in really well. The first time I saw Tenebrae, it was called Unsane. It was cut to pieces. Yeah, directors, yeah, Hitchcock for sure. As the Fulci, of course, Franco. I'm a huge Franco fan. I'm not, not a lot of people love Franco, or not enough. I don't think he doesn't get enough credit because he loved making movies, and I love filmmakers that are actually passionate about making films, as opposed to some filmmakers that you can kind of see are going through the motions or resting a bit. And the passion's got to be there. That's for me. It's across the board. The passion's there for like whether you're like watching or collecting, or you're making a film or you're making a YouTube channel. Have your passion for what you're doing, and these guys all did. I do like, if you want to talk like big directors, I'm probably a Bergman fan as well, but I haven't gotten to really explore them. There's like an Ingmar Bergman set coming out from Criterion. It's going to be one of my Christmas presents this year. That's a daunting director to check out. Do I own any of the It movies? You mean like as in Stephen King? Well, I've got the new It on Blu-ray, and I have the original It somewhere here on DVD as well. So I own both of the films so far that have come out. Well, one's a miniseries. Clarkman, two of the best horror films of all time. Black Christmas. Death Dream is amazing. Death Dream freaked me out. See, there's scenes in both of those films that really, the eye scene. Franco made so many films, but his consistency was impossible. That's because he made so much. But when he was really good, he was really on point. And that's kind of the thing, is that Franco was really a great film director, but he loved movies to the point where he just wanted to constantly be making them, immersing himself in film and in cinema. And that was a good thing and a bad thing. It meant that he made a lot of films, and some of them would definitely have to go into the substandard category. But that being said, they always had a bit of a touch of Franco to them, even the lesser ones. But I think that when he did horror and worked with like kind of horror and anything like kind of like pseudosexual would be some of his better stuff. Kind of show him the covers to them in your next video. Not a problem. Actually, I have it over here, so I can probably show you that one right now. I don't have the cover to the to like the original right here, but here I'll just show the one I got. Hey Ben, how's it going? Anytime it's a newer film, I try to buy it in like in 4K if I can. If I think it like deserves 4K. Obviously, when I went to get it and like Ready Player One and stuff. Watched a bottle of shot on video stuff recently. Do you have many tells? Not enough actually. James Franco, not quite James Franco today. Though I do like James Franco. I don't have a lot of shot on video stuff. I don't have enough to be honest with you. I have things which I'm very proud about. It's a film done in the '80s here in Canada, and it's it's pretty bad actually. I would consider it one of the worst, if not the worst movie that I've ever seen. And I think that everybody should sit through the movie Things at least once to just to prove their mettle. If they're like a bad movie fan, this is not B grade. This is below Z grade in the way that it's done. I do love shot on video films. Now I do have. Hold on a second. This these are kind of shot on video. I'm probably going to watch some of these over Halloween. So, among the many sets that Mill Creek put out, they put out some of these. Oh, Z-Grade is the worst. So, Catacombs of Creep Shows. There's 3 of these, but I only have 2. And Tombs of Terror. And these are all Pendulum Pictures. And if you know Pendulum Pictures, it's pretty much the lowest of low like budget films that you can get. Some of these are fantastically fun to watch. Some of these are kind of hard to watch. The Holy Trilogy directors Kubrick. Oh, I forgot Kubrick and Kurosawa. Okay, I'm sorry, because Intervision is great stuff too. But yeah, Kurosawa and Kubrick are two of my favorites. Christopher Nolan too, by the way. If you want to talk about new directors, and I'm a huge Tarantino fan. I like Fellini. I like Godard. But usually when people ask me about directors on here, they ask me about like genre directors. But yeah, I've got like a Criterion section over there, and some of my favorite movies are Michael Curtiz, by the way. If you want to talk about like older directors, I love Michael Curtiz. He did, just look up his stuff. You'll have seen like a lot of his films, more than likely, stuff like Captain Blood and fantastic films like that. But he was very, very eclectic. He did a lot of different stuff. But not so eclectic. So movies on this are Death Factory, Death from Beyond 2, Johnny Sunshine, Machine Head, Prey of the Beast, Reservoir Cats. Stereotypes don't just disappear into thin air. I think that might be a Beelzebub one. Stay away from Beelzebub. Just trust me on that. His movies are a little on the rapey side. Without the Revenge. So think of a rape revenge movie without the revenge put in there. He can be like that. Flesh Eating Ghost from Outer Space, Shadowhunter, Shower of Blood. So a lot of these have fantastic titles, but are like really cheap. What seems like they were done with like $100 or something like that. And I don't think that I'm dissing on them when I say that. I say that with a lot of great love, to be honest with you, because I do love those type of like low budget films. And somebody mentioned Intervision. Intervision is kind of like a subsidiary, like kind of a sub label of Severin, right? Severin or Snap? Severin, I think. And if you haven't checked out Intervision stuff, they put out a lot of really good shot on video stuff. There's actually a good shot on video podcast. New directors like, I don't know if I consider them newer, but yeah, I get it. Yeah, you have good choice in directors. Out of the newer ones, I'd really have to think. I did mention a couple there that I liked. Question, but please don't get me wrong, okay? Severin. Thank you, Tyler. Yeah, I'm a huge Intervision fan. What was the question? Was it about my really cool Pet Cemetery shirt? Do you think this shirt is work friendly, by the way? I'm thinking wearing it to work, and I need to know if it's work friendly. Oh, I had it. How's Horror Fan Man? Hey, how's it going? Wedding was yes, Reservoir Cats. It is. The wedding was fantastic. It was a nice little ceremony, and me and my better half, we danced most of the night, and until our feet hurt and our hips hurt, and because we're older, and we came back, relaxed, we watched some TV, and just chilled for the rest of the night, ate some food. Pretty quiet evening after the wedding, and then in the morning went and saw the kids. And yeah, I did say Reservoir Cats. It is a film. It's a. I'm trying to see now. Savannah has a question she's going to ask me. She said, "Don't take it the wrong way," which makes me nervous. But I didn't ask it yet. If you pull points in a heavy metal club, not quite actually. It's a remake of Reservoir Dogs by Tarantino with the noticeable difference that all the male characters have been replaced with female ones. And I don't know a lot of stuff that some of these actresses have been in, but I'm sure it's great. It's really low budget. It'll be interesting to see, I guess. Savannah, do you have the question thought up yet? The one that you said don't take the wrong way. But yeah, there's like a bunch of these like super cheesy stuff. So if you ever see these in your store and get them for like a cheap price, it's really a cool way to actually check out some really like super low budget films. And I'll just like show you how low budget this set is. So here's one of them right here, and it comes in like these little slip covers. All really get is like the name of the film and like some of the actors in it. So this one here has like The Cutting Room from 2005, 80 minutes, with starring Lila Sullivan and Noel D'Amato. Maybe is it? Yeah, Ben. It is a Mill Creek set. Question is, those movies you show us in every stream, I don't know or even heard of because because you're 18, are the old movies. Some are old movies, Savannah. Some aren't. And it depends on what you call old movies. You're 18, some movies that I would think of as like kind of like newer, you might think of as old, and that's not like saying you're too young or that type of thing, because a lot of younger people actually watch older films. But definitely, some of these you should check out. There's some classics here that you should watch. These probably not so much unless you're just with a bunch of friends and just want to have a blast. If you want to watch like Death from Beyond with Sarah Moll or Demon Sex with Brink Stevens. Brink Stevens is a good actress though. Something a little bit Tarantino rip-offs from the 90s annoy me. This one probably would too. I'm not expecting much out of Reservoir Cats actually. When I buy a set like this, I buy it for the horror. I don't buy it for like the kind of the low budgety stuff. Soul to Demons with Sky Daniels we got here. Kill Them All and Eat Them with Richard Archer. And a lot of these were done in the 2000s. So Savannah, these are low budget films that are done in the in like the early to mid 2000s. So even some later ones like 2005, 2008, stuff like that. So, but they're like super low budget. So here we go. Pendulum Pictures presents Terror Tombs, a casket load of deviant behavior and bucket loads of gore. There are 50 different poisons within to choose from. Splatterfests. Death Factory. Strange things happen at sundown. Become one in Granny are sure to leave you drowning in blood. Depends on the era you folks on, yeah. I never see a review movie that's recent. I have actually. You're 16, and you've got a really good like director base. There was a YouTuber on here, and does some incredible stuff. I've seen the new Puppet Master film, actually, Ben. It was okay. I liked it. But don't go in, if you go in expecting it to be like the other Puppet Master film, you might be disappointed in that. It stars Thomas Lennon. Who, he did a bunch of stuff. He's actually an actor. And, Barbara Crampton's in it. She has like a decent, but kind of like a role. But she's producing a lot of these films. So I think she's producing Castle Freak as well, which is actually being made. And It's very gory, but it's one that I really like. I enjoyed it. It was a fun film. Uh, Now the puppets are the bad guys in this one, and in a stronger way than they have been in any other film. Even number two, which is when they were pretty much out and out bad guy to the point where Flame or Torch, whatever you want to call him, comes along and like charbroils a kid. But lots of like kids and nobody survives in this one. Like it's well, there's survivors, but I mean like there's no taboo left unbroken for this Puppet Master film. It's super gory. It's funny. It's it can be offensive to some people. I'm not gonna lie. The great masters like Kubrick and Kurosawa, but I have a real soft spot for horror, whether good or bad. See, I'm the same. I guess I grew up. I was lucky enough to grow up around the time that that media became a thing, like physical media became a thing. So my dad had it harder. You had to go to theaters, buy 8 millimeter film reels to get like an 8 minute version of a film that he missed out in theater, or just read novelizations and stuff based, So he didn't get to see we got to see films in a different way and got to experience a lot of really great films in theater. My dad's a cinephile, but I would be I guess I'm the first generation that would benefit from like VHS coming around, and before that capacity enhanced disc, capacity enhanced disc, CDs, uh, and of course DVDs would come along, laser discs. We'd eventually get Blu-rays, and now to 4K, and for to a certain extent like streaming for certain things. But physical media is the way to go. Last night that chapter two is going to leave it open for another one, and people are going to cry at the end of the movie. Was it the teen through the 80s. Oh, really? Little did we know it would be one of the best decades of horror. It was a golden time for horror. So there's fun. If you haven't seen 80s horror, you really, really need to. There's certain movies that like you got to check off your list. John Carpenter's The Thing is definitely one of them. Cronenberg's The Fly. Halloween, and if you go back to the 70s and watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you haven't seen that one. It's a really, really good film. Maybe one of these days I'll do a primer, like a primer for different genres. And we'll kind of do that. For newcomers here, I do this usually on a Saturday night. This is a movie club, so everybody here gets to talk and interact, and talk with each other, talk to me, ask me questions. I usually start out with a topic. That topic usually gets waylaid somehow, and we get talking about Lord knows what. But Saturdays is the day I do this. It's my day off, my only like day off from work, usually for sure. And I do like do videos throughout the week. Most of my videos that I do nowadays are live. And this way, if you have suggestions for ideas, or you just want to talk about certain things or ask me certain questions, then we can definitely do that. I want to do a film noir one coming up because I'm a huge film noir fan. I was asked recently what my favorite genres are. When I was growing up, I guess I loved horror a lot, and the slasher subgenre was a particular favorite of mine because I grew up reading a lot of Agatha Christie. I like about 5 horror films that are in the 80s that I own. You need to see more. That's the thing. You like them because because you need to see more. Because I'm lucky because I grew up with so many great films readily accessible, and the Grand Master films restored. Oh, Blood and After Men is unfortunately lost. Creepers is my favorite old horror film. Creepers. Phenomenon? Creepers? As in like Dario Argento? With like Jennifer Connelly and Donald Pleasance, is that the Creepers? I don't know if you're talking. There's a few movies named Creepers, but whenever I think of the movie Creepers here in North America, the movie Phenomenon was originally entitled Creepers, and it was a cut down version of it. But I was a huge Jennifer Connelly fan growing up. Movies like 7 Minutes in Heaven, and one of a lesser known one, I guess, of hers. Hey, and ready? How's it going? How's it up now? Are you getting a lot of like Halloween stuff show up yet in your area? Oh, it's a fantastic film. You like Argento then. So go out and see Cat o' Nine Tails and Bird with Crystal Plumage, and definitely see Deep Red and Tenebrae. See the earlier Argento stuff if you have not seen it yet, because Argento stuff ages very, very well, Savannah. So it's not where you're going to look at it and say, oh, this is an old movie. It doesn't, it doesn't work that well. They always age fairly well. And if you like Jennifer Connelly, Argento tended to use, especially in like in some of his in his 80s films, Jennifer Connelly types of actresses, or Isaiah Argento. his daughter Isaiah would be in his films. She's long, long dark hair. Like the type that they would do. Argento Prime's amazing. Hi, Kubrick Lover. It's been a while. Oh, cut up a bit. Yeah, and I think Argento, like, I love Argento stuff, and I even like some of the later stuff as well. I can watch like Dracula 3D. I know it's not a great film, but I know what he meant when he went to do it. But it's not when I can like, it's not prime Argento. I think the last real prime Argento. I thought Sleepless was okay. Like, if you haven't seen that one, it's definitely worth seeing. It's Max von Sydow. So if you're a fan of like if you like Bergman and stuff like that, the von Sydow is probably one of your go-to guys. But yeah, he does a decent job. It's not his best, but it's still pretty good. Card Player's a little dry. Trying to buy the Steelbook to Creepers, but it goes for a lot. Yeah, actually, Savannah, ironically, there was a. I mean, 11 minutes work so much that pretty much like them all. Ironically, I was earlier on tonight because I just picked up Cat of Nine Tails. I don't own Birth Crystal Plumage, like the big special edition of it. I got like the regular edition. Dollarama's Star Stocking Horror. Me too. Actually, I got a few of the Dollarama ones. I showed them before, but I'll show you a couple of ones I picked up. And I need like Phenomenon, which has a big set like this, which has Creepers and Phenomenon in it. So if you can find a set like this, it's a little bit bigger than this, and it has both of the films in there. Steelbook's okay, but the big set's even better, but it's more expensive. Barton Jones' early masterpieces, Traumas. See, I always like Trauma. See, Trauma is not one that had to grow on me, because I'm a huge Isaiah fan, for one. So that was going for me there. I'm a huge Piper Laurie fan. And some people said that he tried too much to like North Americanize his film with Trauma. I don't see that. I see the Trauma as being just another step. And if you see like his movies going forward from Trauma, you see that that was just the direction that he was going in. That was his growth. If you want to call it growth or not, of him like as a director and as an artist. You can break Argento up into different categories, and basically, if you look at the earlier Argento stuff, then it's more self. What's your Bergman collection like? Because the complete box, I don't have that yet. I'm getting the complete box set. I actually have one Bergman film, only one, and it's a VHS edition of The Magic Flute. So I have actually kept away from Bergman. I want to, every time Criterion sale comes, I'm going to buy a Bergman. I'm going to buy like this, I'm going to buy that, I'm going to buy Persona, which I like. I want to buy My Summer with Monique, which I love. I love that film. I think that's highly underrated. Fanny and Alexander. So I don't about that one. But it's creepy in the film. Isaiah does a good job. And it's one of her early roles too. And it has atmosphere with the constant rainfall. It does have that constant rainfall. And it's a haunting film. But what's I saying? So you break Argento up to different categories. Argento, you can see his growth as both, not just as an artist, but you see his growth as a person. If you look at the earlier Argento films and you look at the protagonists in those films, it's a male. It's pretty much Argento, like kind of like reflecting himself. It's going to be usually someone artistic, someone like observant, and sometimes you get a lot of like evil, like female characters in the earlier Argento films. Then as he would grow and as he would become a dad, you would see that it would switch and it would shift. And the protagonists in the Argento films are now no longer male. Now they're females. They're younger. They're dark haired. They're kind of like his daughter. Two Virgins, Steelbook Creepers. That's 2 discs, but I hate the art. I like the Steelbook. I need to see. The big editions is the one that I want. I recommend it. I've seen Demons, which produced. Yeah, I did. I'm a huge Demons fan, and it has a fantastic soundtrack. It is great. And Demons 2 is actually underrated too. And that's another one with Isaiah in it. Actually, she has a small part in there as well. I'm a huge fan of hers. So his later films, you'll see that there's a lot. It's way too expensive. It's on right now. I'm waiting for it to lower down on price. I'm hoping it lowers in price, or at least they re-release it. And I don't want just like the disc. I need the big set. So in his later films, you get to see like a lot of like female characters taking over, becoming the protagonist. To the point where after his divorce with Dario Nicolodi, who did a lot of the early films she was acted in, it is expensive, but the thing is that the way I see it, and I asked my better half, my spouse, therefore, like to get me the Ingmar. She's not an Ingmar Bergman fan at all, and she balked originally at the $300 price tag. Now it went down to $275, where I'm at right now. You're talking about it's a thick box, yeah. But it costs normally here in Canada around $45 to $50 for a Criterion. That's you go out and you buy one. For a decent one, it's $49, $50. You may get one on sale for like $39. That's usually what a Criterion costs here. And Reddy knows all about this. He's in Ontario. And if you haven't checked out his channel, by the way, and Reddy has a great channel here. Also, I gotta say, if you have not listened to it yet, I'm gonna find it here. The latest episode of Just the Discs, Return of the Living Dead, Brains Can Unborn, is really, really good. So definitely check that out. I'm a huge fan. I was very honored. They actually tweeted out my channel on Twitter, so I was actually really surprised. And sometimes it can go as high as $60. That's the thing. A bunch of Bergman films, another Penguin Shame, my favorite Bergman, really. But I already have it on another Bergman site. See, I don't have any Bergman, so I'm going in blind. I've seen some Bergman, but I've never owned any Bergman. So to get like for $275, it's gonna be $300 for taxes about it here, but it's gonna be like $350, $400 afterwards. They are pricey, and Todd, I know, and you just can't buy Criterion during sales, only for my favorite films, which is really hard because I love so many. I get that. Now, I find it really hard. Summer with, thank you. See, I love Summer with Monica, and most people really just kind of bypass it, don't talk about it. I think it's really underrated when it comes to Bergman's films, and it stands. It stood the test of time, and I've watched it recently. Well, not recently, about a few months ago, which is kind of recent, and I thought that it did stand up. It was a fantastic film, but yeah, when it comes to the $50 or $60. Fanny and Alexander, I haven't seen it in a long time, so I would have to go in and watch it again. Summer Criterion Collection, because the one I got from eBay 2 weeks ago won't even play in your player. That's right, Chris. You got Fanny and Alexander, didn't you? But it didn't work because see, someone else who loves Summer with Monica. So you guys are the first people that I spoke to that actually really have enjoyed that film, and I enjoyed it as well. So thank you guys so much for that. But yeah, anyway, so it's got over 30 movies. What's it, 39 movies, right, on the Bergman films. So if you were to buy, even at $40, let's say $40, which is fairly cheap for Criterion here in Canada, and it's what, 39 movies, right? So this is the price that it would cost you to buy those 39 movies at $40 each. So $1,560. And if you don't own the Bergman stuff, which you do, which is cool, then it's actually a great deal. Because you also get like a huge book there, like big hardcover books come with it as well, like 270-page book or something like that. I'm sure a lot of that book is going to be done up with like writings and booklets were in previous Criterion releases. But if you don't own any of them, that's a great way to have them, much in the way that Arrow did their book that came out earlier with a lot of Arrow booklets and stuff in there. So those are ones that I'm actually really looking forward to. And with that being said, since I have not had my tea since I got here today, guys, this is going to be like a shorter one than I normally do. So we'll do like a bigger one, a longer one later on. But if you haven't seen these movies, there's Cat o' Nine Tails, The Strangers, and The Changeling. Check them out. Check out Brian Sauer's Just to This podcast, by the way. You have to get Bergman through Tartan Cinema releases. I've got some Tartan Cinema releases, actually. I got ripped off once by somebody on eBay who sold me some Criterion releases that were actually not Criterion at all. They were the Criterion, the films, but they were done by another company. I'm not sure if it was Tartan or another company, but they were like featureless and stuff. But I was not happy when I actually got my. That's a ways back, actually. I'm probably about 3 or 4 years ago, when my channel probably existed of maybe 20 viewers. Yeah, and And ready, if you put up the, I'm not sure if you're still here, but if you put up your haul yet, I'd like to see it. I'll check it out. Check out Emready's channel. He's another Canadian like YouTuber on here. He does a lot of hauls and stuff like that. He does some convention stuff as well. If you haven't checked him out, really do so. Looking forward to watching the 5 hours and 20 minutes of Xander. Oh, the AZ Extremes are amazing. I got a couple of those. Now my kids are huge fans of like Asian cinema. Like they know a lot more. If you were watching when my kids were here, they know a lot about Asian cinema, a lot more than I do actually. And they're huge. Like my youngest is going to school for linguistics and international studies, and is studying like Korean and like languages like that. Oh, really? And oh, you would have loved my kids here then. And my oldest is actually been learning the Japanese dialect, and looks to be going that way as well. So with all that being said, I got movies to watch and tea to drink. I'm either gonna watch one of these. I got some. If you've seen my last video, if you haven't seen it, I was actually kind of disappointed that like I did an unboxing and not a lot of people have seen it yet. And I was really excited about the unboxing. I thought it came off as a really good video actually. And it did a lot of, there's a lot of film noir, like really good stuff in there. One movie that's in there that I got to mention was Night in the City, which is a Jules Dassin. You can speak a little Japanese. I can't speak any Japanese, but my oldest can. Just haven't gotten an anime though. It just doesn't do it for you. Some people it does, some people it doesn't. I grew up at a time when like anime meant things like Robotech and Astro Boy, and I'll be getting to some stuff later on. I'm trying to plan for a trip to Japan. My oldest is that's her dream, is going to Japan. You can speak Swedish, English. I can speak English, and it's not even the best language to know. So I'm trying to learn French. Like a lot of Japanese films. I need more. I would love to have had the Kurosawa set that came out from Criterion when they put out the DVD set. I'm hoping, I'm praying that maybe, just maybe, Criterion can do with Kurosawa next year what they did with Bergman this year. And guys, I've had a fantastic time. I'll see you all next time here in the movie club. And you guys definitely outclass me when it comes to the languages. But I'll get there. I will. I just got to practice more. There's an awesome, I love film noir, but I haven't seen that many. Check out film noir. I'm going to do a video coming up soon, Isaac, on film noir. Please, come in, check it out. See, Ben, I'll talk to you guys. Talk to you later. Thank you so much for coming in and ready, Isaac, Savannah, everybody that showed up today. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it, and glad to get to. Talk to you guys here, Kubrick Lover, in the movie library with my amazing movie club. I'll see you guys again next time, because right now my voice is going, and I plan to do like a 2-hour plus long video, but it really is time for tea. Talk to you later, guys, and watch some watch a film noir before we do a set on it. One that would do an episode on it. What I recommend, oh Savannah, you make me blush, is the movie Out of the Past with Robert Mitchum. And I will talk to you guys later.